Hello everybody, my name is Waifu. So, couple things to note. First off, I am not hungover. Basically, what happened is the curtain on this window kind of broke. So I need to basically either replace the blind here or get curtains or something because I can't see. I can't see at all, which is kind of the whole reason for the sunglasses. I should probably just take that one. I mean, it'll add natural lighting anyway. Almost. There we go. The one back there. Add some natural lighting from that side, and that way you guys can see my gorgeous eyeballs. I haven't posted in like a week, mostly because I'm trying to get a schedule together. There are a couple different series I want to do. I kind of want to turn days into particular days. Yesterday was supposed to be the first McFarlane Monday. I'm going to have a video talking about a couple of these things, which hopefully should come out tomorrow, because I'm going to just try to record it today, worst comes to worst. Because that's kind of where I am at the moment with that. But yeah, yesterday was supposed to be the first day for McFarlane Mondays. Actually, last week was supposed to be the first day of McFarlane Monday. In the past week, with the exception of days like 2 through 4 with the winter showcase that McFarlane did, there hasn't been anything released. As of today, they just announced a figure that we already knew about, that we've known about for a while. It just finally went up on pre-order. So I'm probably going to talk about that next Monday. Hopefully they give me something else to work with, with the exception of like last year they did a couple, or not last year, last week they did a couple of like, hey, go pre-order this figure that has been on pre-order for like weeks. So I don't know. That's kind of just where I am with that. Is like I was going to the week before that, but then I decided I was like, okay, I'm going to actually put a schedule together. But by that point it was a little late. I do have a couple collection videos incoming and stuff like that. I'm going to talk about that all in a separate video. Today, I wanted to talk about the new Demonslayer movie that just came out. Oh, the other thing, glasses, schedule, audio. As you can tell, the audio is awful in today's video. My Kraken doesn't work with my phone anymore. I literally just tried it. I thought the audio was muted, so I did actually make a video covering days 2 and 3 of the Winter Showcase of McFarlane, which was supposed to come up on that Saturday, and then I was going to make a video on that Monday talking about all of the releases for the Encore Day, but that wouldn't have counted as my first McFarlane Monday. It would have just started today, or it would have started yesterday. The headset wasn't muted, it's just not working. It works completely fine when I plug it into my laptop and when I use it for actual gaming, which I don't do a ton of, but when I do game, play, get on Fortnite, get those W's, L+, no chug jug, that kind of stuff. I really try to hold my laughter for that one. This is typically the headset that I use. It's the one I spent the most money on. It still works. I think it's something to do with my adapter. Because of the new iPhones not having a headphone jack, I have to have this goofy little adapter to plug into the headphone, or plug into the phone first. It works completely fine with the charger port, which is right here, but on the end with the headphone jack, something is wrong. It's tough to tell. I'm probably gonna take it apart and see if maybe a pin is loose or something. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. I'm not too worried about it at the moment, because hopefully I'm gonna be getting a new microphone soon anyway. So yeah, that's the last issue. So sunglasses, schedule, microphone. I think it's it. So yeah, Demonslayer. If you're a Demonslayer fan, hot take, your show sucks. If you are wanting to go see the movie, another hot take, don't. I'm going to go into spoilers, and I'm going to actually talk about the movie and what's going on. My spoiler-free review, I know I just got done like joking around and making fun, L+ chug jug and stuff, and Maybe laugh the second time. Damn it. But the new Demon Slayer movie is not something we should be putting our money towards. It is a waste of money. It should not have been... It should not have been put into the theaters in the state that it's in. It should not have been put into the theaters at all if this was the general idea that it is. And if it was going to be put in like this, it should have been marketed a lot better. So basically, my spoiler for your review is going to be a little weird. All things considered, I'm going to give it like a 6 out of 10. It's all right. I don't want to go into crazy detail right now because I want to say that we're the spoilers. But no matter how good of a 6 out of 10 it gets, please do not go to see this movie in the theaters. By giving them our money, we are telling them that it is something we are okay with when it's not. It's not a good business practice. This should not have happened in the way it happened. And I'm not a Demon Slayer fan, but I am incredibly disappointed and borderline angry at the fact that my money was essentially wasted by a big conglomerate that doesn't need all of that money. So yeah, I'm going to do a couple different spoiler warnings because basically the premise of the movie is it recaps episodes 10 and 11, so the final fight between, or the final moments of the fight between Gyotaro and Daki, as well as Zenitsu, Tanjiro, Tengen, and Inosuke. So it's like the final fight, the final couple moments there, and then it jumps into the beginning of the Swordsmith Village arc. So I'm going to kind of do right now is my spoiler warning for Season 2. If you haven't finished Season 2 or you haven't started Season 2, go watch that, come back to this. If you haven't seen the movie yet, and you're still planning on seeing the movie, because no one's seen the Swordsmith arc yet, unless you've already read it and you don't care, then I'm going to do a second spoiler warning before I actually get into the Swordsmith arc. So yeah. Some people, are at different points, so I'm going to do different types of spoiler warnings because of the way the movie is set up. Yeah. If you guys enjoyed, oh, by the way, you guys have been really supporting the channel, and I really appreciate it. So please, drop a like, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to get notified when I upload a new video. And make sure to comment down below. Comment, if you watch this movie, or if you're a Demon Slayer fan at all. I won't like your comment if you're a Demon Slayer fan. But I will read it. And I will be disappointed. So, Season 2. Movie opens up with one of the very few things that I like about the movie, and that was the way they decided to recap it. They started off by doing the original opening for Demon Slayer. There's an opening credits, Tanjiro's family was brutally murdered, and then now Tanjiro's a cool little demon hunter guy. And it's like, all right, whatever. And then it gets into the first opening, Grunge by Liza, or Grunge, I think. I'm not 100% sure. It's one of the two. I can't pronunciate. Pronunciate. Whoa, that was awful. I can't pronounce. I can't think, apparently, either. My brain is just dissipating. I'm sure at this point I didn't even use that word right, I'm sure. I think I'm gonna go with Grunge because I think that's as close as right as I can be, by Liza, and that is used to recap the entirety of Season 1. In a very weird way, one that flows with the song a little bit more. They kind of jump from point to point. They go from the training arc to the Rui Hinokami fight to the Wood arc to the House arc to, or the Home arc. I don't know the names of any of the arcs, any of the Season 1 arcs. So that's kind of what it's used to recap all of that, which I like. I thought it was a good idea. I thought it was, it does what it needs to do. I thought it was cool. Then it immediately kicks off with the Season 2 opening, and that recounts the entirety of the Mugen Train series arc. It doesn't recount the movie. There are some scenes that are a little bit different, so if you've only seen the movie, they're going to be like, oh, I don't remember that. It's only stuff from the series. So that's used to recap the series, in which case we get a new opening for that. Or not a new opening, but the Season 2 opening. Then we get a couple seconds into the actual fight with Gyotaro and Daki, and basically them getting whooped by, or not getting whooped, like kind of starting to do a little bit of damage against them. And then it cuts into the season 3 opening, which is by Amir, or Amir, Aimer. I don't remember the name of that one. And sadly, I can't hum it either. The last 2 openings were done by Liza, which is why I didn't specify, and I don't know the name of the second one either for some reason. You know, I'm just built like that. And then there's the season 3, which is done by Amir, which is fantastic. Still my favorite opening, although I might talk about that in a little bit. Which is not a recap of the season beforehand. It is just the regular opening. Then they make their first fatal mistake, and they put a title card. You can't see my eyes right now because of the sunglasses, but I have an angry expression on my face. You find out very early on in this film that you're not watching a film. You find out very early on that you are watching a couple episodes that were screen recorded on Crunchyroll and put into iMovie and just put together. They weren't even edited. I put more editing into my videos than they put into this movie. That's not a joke. That's not sarcasm. They didn't even have the audacity to take the end credits out. If you follow my Instagram, at RJ for Stepdad, you might have noticed that when I actually went to see the movie on Sunday, I posted a picture on my story that said, when you're only halfway through the movie and the credits are already rolling. That wasn't a joke. The credits rolled, I think, 3 or 4 times throughout the course of the film. And I genuinely wish I was joking, because the amount of frustration that I had from it was astounding. It was so frustrating to me that they didn't have the balls to take out the title cards. They didn't have the audacity or the balls to take out the freaking end credit scenes of the episodes. And I think the worst part is that it didn't feel like a movie, it felt like a Crunchyroll subscription. In the sense that they didn't even cut out, like, you'll be watching a scene, and then the end credits will roll because it's the end of the episode, right? Then the next episode will start, and then it will show exactly what happened in the last scene that we saw 5 minutes ago before the credits. There is probably 10 minutes of credits throughout the entirety of the movie, and there's no need for it. You could very simply take out the credits, snip a couple scenes, fuse it together, and have a very fluid final fight as a recap. And honestly, if that was the case, I would say, yeah, this is the definitive way to watch the Gyotaro and Daki versus the Demonslayer team fight. But I can't say that because now there's no other way. It's the same thing, and it's even worse because they didn't change any of the graphics. They didn't, or I say graphics, they didn't change any of the animation. They didn't change any of the CGI. So there are scenes that look gorgeous on the big screen, and there are scenes that look awful. This scene where the whole town is on fire because it just is what it is. Again, it's the same scene that was used for the anime, so the actual effect that was used looks like trash. Also, there are a lot of scenes that look awful. They just look bad. And it's like you could have, with one of Demonslayer, like Demonslayer's, I was watching this video the other day. This guy, he goes, he's on YouTube, and he's like, oh, let's see if it's facts or cap, like about like anime videos, right? Really annoying. But, you know, you sit there and you watch it because I have the attention span of a goldfish. And, it was like, oh, Demonslayer, like, oh, the animation carries, and that's why the series gets hate. First off, the series gets hate because it's boring, because it's generic. Secondly, the animation does absolutely carry. The animation carries. If the animation was bad for the series, people wouldn't watch it as much as you would think. The fact that people think your animation is so good that your animation carries, and then you release garbage when you take it to the theaters is ridiculous. It is astounding. astounding. Some of the scenes that I was like, you couldn't even touch that up. They didn't touch up the CGI. They didn't touch up the animation. They didn't touch up some of the fight scenes. It's like, you're bringing this to a theater. You know it's going to make you money. That is its whole point. And you're not even going to fix what is already broken. For a Crunchyroll subscription, for $10 a month, the animation isn't bad. For $10 for one ticket, and you can't do that, is ridiculous. You know off the bat that this movie is going to make you a ton of money because it's Demonslayer, because it's high value, because it's high priority, because it's high excitement right now. I would say Demonslayer Season 3 is one of the most exciting things to come out of this year for a lot of people, next to the ending of Attack on Titan, and I don't know if My Hero Season 7 is going to drop for a while, because I think Season 7 is supposed to cover the final war arc. I don't know where that's going. Like Spy Family Season 2, like I would argue like the big three that are coming out this year in terms of returning series are Spy Family Season 2, Demonslayer Season 3, and Attack on Titan Season 4 Part 3, Half 2. I'm sorry, Attack on Titan. I would argue those are some of the three biggest shows. You can't even build excitement off of it because what you're bringing in is not good. It's not good quality. You're not changing anything. You're taking what people have already seen frame for frame and putting it into the theaters. You're making people sit through the credits. I would rather sit and watch the entirety of the 4.5-hour Snyder Cut than rewatch this film, because at least the Snyder Cut doesn't feel as long as half of the credits you have to sit through in this movie. My brother left the theater. I went to go see the movie with my brother. That one, that brother that typically lays there. Well, not in the videos, but typically, you know, the other one for the room. I went to go see it with him. Halfway through the movie, he left. He came back eventually, but he was like, well, the credits are rolling, so I'm just gonna like go take a break or something. What? At what point during a film, at what point during a feature film, a full-length movie, are you supposed to get up and walk out of the theater? There is so much trash in this film when it comes to things that could have been taken out. Not trash as in it's bad, trash as in why is this here? That it wouldn't be an hour and 50 minutes. It would be probably close to an hour and 30, an hour 20. If they would have taken out all of the things that they didn't need, they could have shortened the fight scene by a mile. They could have taken out a lot of the things that they put in. They could have done this. They could have done that. And it's like, okay, openings and endings are kind of annoying in the sense that for an anime, and then you have openings like I just praise them for like, oh, that was really cool that they did that. But it's also like, why are you recapping things that people already know beat for beat at this point? I don't know anyone who's walking into the Demonslayer theater, which I'll get to that in a second, not knowing anything about Demonslayer. They've probably seen up until that point, and if they haven't, they probably don't need a recap on Season 1 and Mugen Train. They probably need a recap on what's happening up until the Season 3 fight. Which, there wasn't even anyone in the theater, because the second biggest problem that they have is the fact that this movie is rated R in the States. Half of your audience is children. Half of it, there were probably, I think it was like close to 7 or 8 reserved seats in the theater. Reserved, meaning the tickets were already purchased and the seats were being held. When me and my brother got there, no one. We were the only ones in the theater. And I purely think it was because we got lucky and we had ID. We saw after we got out of the movie, there were a couple of kids trying to go in who were trying to buy tickets for this film, and they couldn't watch the movie because it's rated R. This film has... it has violence, and it has the Mitsuri scene. Which, honestly, the Mitsuri scene alone is worth a Blu-ray copy of this movie. If you know, you know. But I honestly don't think it deserves an R rating. Mugen Train also was rated R. Mugen Train should not have been rated R. But because the US and the States don't have a TV-14 version of movies that these could have been perfectly rated for, we don't get that. And honestly, these movies could have easily been PG-13 because there's not a ton of language. There really isn't a ton of violence, all things considered. And when it comes to that, the amount of blood is so minimal compared to a lot of other things that R-rated films are. And Mitsuri is completely covered. Well, the parts that matter are covered. Anyway, I really don't understand how this movie could have been rated R, which is already a huge issue because now you are limiting the amount of people who can go see this movie, namely kids. Kids who like these films, kids who like this series. Demonslayer and anime. I'm not saying anime is for kids. I don't think that's true in the slightest. I would never show Berserk to my kid. I mean, that's probably also a bad example. But a huge majority of people who are going to see this film are kids. A huge majority of early Shonen Jump series like My Hero Academia and Spy Family and for some reason, Demonslayer. I don't know why I forgot Demonslayer. We're literally talking about it. Are kids. They are children. That's just how it is. They aren't allowed to go to a PG or well, I think they're allowed to. Yeah, they're allowed to go to PG-13 movies. They're not allowed to go to rated R movies. Simple as that. They're not allowed in unless they have ID or unless a parent is with them. There's nothing more to say. Because of the fact that this movie is rated R, which isn't inherently your fault, now you are limiting it even more. I guarantee that the reason that the people couldn't get in to the reserved seating was because they were kids and they didn't have ID. It's the only reason. That, or for some reason they slept in till 1:30, which is when the movie started, when we went. Honestly, I don't even really want to review the actual moments in the actual end of season 2. There were parts of the fight that I liked. I really liked the Christian symbolism towards the end. In some ways, I mean, obviously there were some creative liberties taken. And I feel like if you look at Demonslayer from a particular perspective, like Demonslayer is, all things considered, a fairly Christian series in what it presents and how it tells a story and how it talks about things. If you don't believe me, you don't believe me. Like, there's nothing you can really do about it, or nothing I can really do about it. But I would argue very strongly for the Christian resemblance in Demonslayer as a series, in all things that Demonslayer is, whether it's the movie or the original series or the new season. Like, there are moments in this movie that are definitely very Christian in their symbolism. And I think that was one of the very few things that I liked and one of the very few things that made me stay. The animation was just not it. It was just not it. It needed to be better. So I'm not even going to talk about the season 2 fight scene because honestly it doesn't matter. This is the spoiler warning, the official spoiler warning for season 3, The Swordsmith Village arc. I think this covers like the first 2 episodes of the Swordsmith Village arc. And I'm also going to talk about the new opening that was revealed at the end of the movie. So yeah, if you've made it this far and you just kind of wanted to hear my very general thoughts because you've already seen season 2, cool, here you go. This is it. I'm actually going to talk about the spoilers for season 3. So if you didn't want to hear that, now is your time to go. There's the door. it's over. I appreciate it. Leave a like, subscribe, notification bell, comment down below what your favorite arc of Demonslayer is or whatever. Something stupid, I don't care. I'm going to get into Season 3 spoilers now. So I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright. Still with me? Perfect. Season 3 is going to be interesting. I don't know. The stuff that we've seen, it starts with the way, so season 2 ended off with Akaza being transported to the Infinite Castle, and he's like, okay, the only reason we're here is because an Upper Moon is dead, which is Gyotaro, and Daki isn't an Upper Moon, but Gyotaro is. He was the Upper Moon 6, and they show up, so we actually meet a couple of the Upper Moons, like we meet Kuroshibo, I think is his name. We see Muzan once again. We see Akaza once again. We meet, well, we don't meet, but we see the Upper 2 again. And then we meet the Uppers 4 and 5 for the first time. And they are tasked with, 4 and 5, tasked with continuing the search for a flower that can allow demons to live in the daytime. Cool. It was definitely interesting to see some of the characters. There's this really cool interaction with Akaza where he isn't scared of Muzan, but he is terrified of Kuroshibo. And I was like, well, that is really interesting. That's really cool. I really like that detail. There's just stuff in it that I was like, okay, that's cool. Honestly, this is probably one of the least important things when it comes to the series as a whole. For this movie, I think the Swordsmith arc itself, or the beginning of that, is a little bit more important. So Tanjiro wakes up after being in a coma for, I believe it's 2 months. Zenitsu is no longer there. He's on a mission. Inosuke is on a mission, or leaves for a mission shortly after. And Tanjiro is like, okay, I have to go to the Swordsmith village because I have to get a new sword. Because his keeps breaking. Swordsmith Village is kept in secret, so Tanjiro has to be taken from point A to point B and C and D and whatever. He's taken to the Swordsmith Village. And then he meets up with Mitsuri. We get the infamous Mitsuri hot springs scene, which is everything I imagined and more. After that, we get to talk a little bit more with Mitsuri, where she informs Tanjiro that there is a secret weapon that is really overpowered and really awesome in the Swordsmith Village that he needs to find before she leaves to make some final adjustments on her sword, and then she tries to leave in the daytime, but as we all know, that doesn't happen. And then we are also introduced to the Mist Hashira, who shows up, as well as the only other graduate from the forest thing, the only other person from that isn't dead. So it was Zenitsu, Tanjiro, him, the guy I'm thinking of because I don't remember his name, Kanayo. I think that's all 4. There was probably another one that I'm forgetting. Yeah. So they all he shows up. He's really interesting. Slight spoiler warning, but it's shown in the opening, so it doesn't really matter. He uses guns as well as swords. I always thought that was a really cool idea. And he is a pretty integral part of this arc in particular. So I'm excited to see what happens. Not really, but a little bit. This movie sucked because of what it did, what it was. Also, the new opening is absolute heat. It's a crossover between, I believe it's Milted, and, of course, now I forget their name. The guys who did the opening for... They did the second opening for Vinland Saga called Dark Crow, and then they did the one of the first opening of season 5, Merry-Go-Round, or the second opening of season 5 called Merry-Go-Round. I can't remember it. The guys with the furry helmets. So it's heat. A lot of people are talking trash on it. I really like it. I think it's pretty good. I'm excited for them to drop it on Spotify so I can throw it on the playlist. It's fire. That's the best part of the whole movie. $10 well spent. So yeah, all things considered with the content and everything, it's a 6 out of 10. It's very standard for Demonslayer. It's Demid-Slayer. Haha. It's more of what we've seen. It's demons, swords, crying, Mitari, everything I've wanted and more, but not really though. Yeah, this movie is honestly not even worth watching. Wait till it comes out, or just wait until season 3. Honestly, you're gonna get the same experience either way. This movie is not worth watching. It's not. Don't give them your money. Don't turn this into an actual practice. Yeah. I appreciate you guys, though. If you stayed around, I know this part in particular was only a couple minutes, kind of just going through vaguely. Oh, the movie ends with Tanjiro seeing Kuroshibo. Kuroshibo. So that's pretty cool. In the daylight. Whoa, what was going to happen there? Well, that's kind of quirky and goofy. Yeah, I don't know. Stupid, really awful cliffhanger. Please do not watch this movie in the theaters. Please do not watch this movie in the theaters. It's not worth your time. It's definitely not worth your money. Wait till it drops on Crunchyroll. It's gonna be worth it when it comes out. Trust me. Trust me. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to hit the like button, hit the notification bell to get notified every time I upload a brand new video, but you have to just subscribe to do that, and we're only 100,000 subscribers, or 100 million subscribers away from passing Mr. Beast in subscribers. So yeah, drop a comment down below on what your favorite arc of Demonslayer is, and if you've seen the movie, what you think about it. This is Moist Critical, signing off.